Higgins' boat hit a sandbar, and we jumped into the water and immediately went in over our heads. We struggled to make it to shore through the relentless gunfire, but all 12 of my men fought hard, and 6 hours later, we safely reached the hills.
I shipped overseas to Edinburgh, Scotland. We had to be in good shape, so
we're setting up our dog tags. Oh.
He was a famous trumpet man from out Chicago way. He had a boogie style that no one else.
That's how they used to sing the messages on the pigeon.
Oh my God, they did that during World War II, or is this World War I?
They probably still do it to some degree. I would think. Oh no, that was GPS and all that.
Yeah, birds just seem so temperamental when you have Siri. Oh, a Simplex motorcycle. Look how bad that is. Like, imagine riding on that.
When he plays reveille, he's the boogie woogie bugle boy of Company B. A toot, a toot, a tooty-lad, a tooty blows it eight to the bar. In boogie rhythm, he can't blow a note unless the bass and guitar is playing with him. He makes a company jump when he plays reveille. He's the boogie woogie bugle boy of Company B. He was a boogie woogie bugle boy of Company B.
Higgins designed and built his own AT for the Navy to test. The test was a success, and he was awarded another contract. To fulfill these new orders, Higgins constructed City Park, the largest motorboat plant under one roof to use modern assembly line techniques. Throughout production, Higgins worked closely.
I would love to see a documentary on this man.
To improve his landing.
Have to look for it.
In 1941, he converted
Company B. He blows it eight to the bar. He can't blow a note if the bass and guitar isn't with him.
So this is all artifacts that let's get his name. Let's see what his name was. Mr. Frederick Alexander MacDonald. He was a priest who collected items from religious places that had been destroyed during the war. And these are all of his artifacts that he saved. Well, he saved pieces and then artists would put them together to make actual art. But these are all made from remnants of religious places that were destroyed in the war.
Felt it was beneficial. I never developed much interest in religion until I went away to France, and it kind of essentially reconversion. So when I came back, I began to inquire about seminaries, and I found the General Theological Seminary in New York City.
I made a trip to Europe in 1933.
know if y'all can see it, but if you look real close, you can see into the cockpit. And you can kind of see behind. Such a tight squeeze. I can't imagine what it was like piloting something like this, you know? Big ship. Big ship. And that's my father. And that's a big old ship. If the replica is this big, I can only imagine how big the actual ship is. The little people. For reference, this is my grown father standing next to it. I figured it'd be better to get here early so we had enough time to read too, because you and I are nerds.
We still had time to eat everything.
Time to have our coffee. Very true.
He took over all the rest of Czechoslovakia.
Stop necessary for war. I believe there will be little danger of our fall. If you believe that this country should not enter the war now, we ask you to join the first committee in its stand.
We cannot escape danger by crawling into bed and falling the cover over our heads. We must prepare.
Dear mothers, we just want our boys to go in war.
We demand that Congress refrain from war, even if England is on the verge of defeat.
You want peace because you want the easy route. You want to go and lead the own way of life, but you don't want to cut for it.
Your boys are not going to be sent into any foreign war.
We must respect the truth power to set in motion an industry history that will make it possible for England to clasp England on the face of the earth.
Despite the propaganda and confusion of recent months, it is now obvious that England is losing the war. We cannot now.
Movie experience. Whole movie
Man, oh.
1941. Germany is advancing across Europe. while Japan expands its powers over vast stretches of Asia, with its eyes on the Pacific. Now, the United States stays out of the war, but imposes an oil embargo and freezes Japanese assets to cripple their war-making ability.
Air raid, Pearl Harbor. This is not a drill.
Invasion. The American people in their righteous might will win through to an absolute
But imposes an oil embargo and freezes Japanese assets.
What is this piece of metal right here? Oh, it's a fragment of a ship.
To prevent strikes in the war, President Roosevelt moved the
Wow.
from San
More
Diego
than half.
2,000 miles closer to Japan.
I can't believe they took down so many ships in under, like, a little over an hour.
They caught him on a Sunday morning. Everybody was sleeping in.
In Washington, tensions mount.
We are now in this war. We're all in it. All the way.
So they have a cool little interactive thing here. You get a dog tag, and at each exhibit you can save artifacts, and then later on, after you collect the museum, you can go back and see the artifacts that you collected and read up on that stuff. So Dad and I are making sure we get every artifact on our dog tags before we leave, so that we'll have something else to do tonight. The journey never ends.
I mean, Mama Anna.
Oh my god, look at this, yo. This is so cool. Oven, stove. Wow. Look at that. What is that? I don't even know how to use this thing. This is my favorite part, you guys. I think it's cool. It's like a living room in this era. So they're finally touching on black soldiers, World War II. And I think that this quote really hits home. Many African Americans condemn the hypocrisy of fighting against racial injustice abroad while enforcing it at home. Jim Crow laws were still in place in America while we were off fighting the Germans for locking up Jews and treating them differently. So, fair point.
Combat team comprised entirely of Americans of Japanese descent was
American Indians show their true patriotism when a troop train pauses here on its way to the far west.
No ethnic group enlists at a higher rate than Native Americans. Although many live segregated on reservations, they are permitted to serve alongside white soldiers, and many are celebrated as heroes. African Americans are forced to serve in segregated units, and usually in menial, non-combat roles, encountering the same discrimination and segregation in the service that they face back home.
Incarceration, yeah.
Prove our allegiance to the United States of America. One leg here in the fight. You know, it's about country. We are all Americans. My ancestors was abiding by Americans.
So sad. Like to be removed from your home and not even allowed the decency of bringing your belongings with you. Look at that. See this kind of stuff makes me sad. He served for us, but because he was Japanese American and the Japanese bombed Pearl Harbor, he just wasn't given his Medal of Honor until 40, 50 years later. That's crazy. Died for our country. They couldn't even give him his medal. This guy, he won a medal for a sports tournament, the Rose Bowl in 1942, but he wasn't given it to him until 1985 because he was Japanese. And he was in one of those internment camps.
Training exercise to fuel the truth of the water. Okay? Look at approaching a house or crossing the street.
He was a famous trumpet man from out Chicago way.
President Roosevelt knows the United States will no longer sit idly by. He also realizes we are not ready for this war. As France collapses and General George Marshall warns the president, 5 German divisions land in Veracruz. He is serious about arming for war. Roosevelt heeds Marshall's warning. Before Congress, 3 days later, he calls for the production of 50,000 aircraft, a figure some say is impossible. He summons William Knudsen, top executive at General Motors, to begin organizing the mass production of military materials. Knudsen estimates 18 months to retool America's factories, and he immediately goes to work.
It looks like this is an engine for a plane, and apparently it was better than the German ones. Early tests showed that it could outrun, outclimb, and outfight any German plane. So that's one mean. That's a mean old engine right there. Giant engine. Ooh, look at this. Higgins boat production. And I'm gonna get video footage of you standing next to it so we see just how damn big this thing is. Massive. This is so cute. I know this is a uniform for war, but like I would wear this right now. Like right now. If we're gonna go to war, we're gonna do it in fashion, Henny.
He really breaks it up when he plays reveille. He's the boogie woogie bugle boy of Company B.
It's kind of hard to hear video in this room because everything else is so damn loud. But oh, it's me. Hello. What is this for? Oh, look at the goggles. That's number 1. Oh, welder's equipment. So this is all equipment for a welder in World War II. Cool. Now we're into the nitty-gritty bomb wars, basically. Who could create the biggest, baddest, meanest bomb there was to fight Nazi Germany?
And there are 39 German scientists propose a startling theory.
Fission process, bomb talk. This is cool. So this was actually created by the first atomic explosion at the Trinity test site in New Mexico on July 16th, 1945. A piece of trinitite.
In Germany, the leader in
and then this is a heavy water barrel, which was probably also hit by the blast.
Germany, they're unable to test their theory. Instead, they share their research with the United States.
Nani?
Research which convinces President Roosevelt to begin investigating America's industrial capacity
Hey, I'm hovering.
for building a bomb.
How far in do I need to get?
When Germany
It says
declares
hover.
war on America 2 months later, Roosevelt takes the next step, authorizing the
Oh,
military to
shoot.
secretly attempt construction of a bomb. The president selects Colonel Leslie R. Rhodes to head up the Manhattan Engineer District. 125,000 workers at more than 30 sites across the nation all contribute to the monumental production effort. The utmost secrecy is vital, with workers forbidden from discussing their jobs and strict security measures in place. If secrets get leaked to Germany, it could mean losing the race. Researchers pursue 2 simultaneous paths to the bomb. Uranium, already theoretically proven, and plutonium, a newly discovered element, which may also split apart.
Okay, guess not.
Isolation and huge amounts of hydroelectric power. Next, Rhodes picks physicist Robert Oppenheimer to develop a bomb research facility in the mountains of northern New Mexico. At Los
He's a
Alamos.
communist? Oh.
Then, at the University of Chicago.
But I know she's the toast of Kalamazoo, zoo, 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 zoo.
Send a wire, hopping on a plane, leaving today. Am I dreaming? I can hear her screaming. Hiya, Mr. Jackson, everything's okay. A-L-A-M-A-C-O. Oh, what a girl, a real pimperoo. I'll make my bid for that freckle-faced kid.
A monumental breakthrough. In a squash court under the football grandstand, Enrico Fermi's team tests the first self-sustaining fission chain reaction. For the first time in history, scientists successfully unleash and control the power of the atom. Soon, a site for plutonium production is selected in Hanford, Washington, chosen for its proximity to the Columbia River and government-funded hydroelectric dams. Meanwhile, the community at Los Alamos grows, the population doubling every 9 months, as scientists gather from around the world to work on the bomb's design and trigger mechanism. The pace of innovation at a rate never before seen. As work in the laboratories progresses, the Allied forces advance in Europe, until Germany falls. The race for the bomb is over. And plutonium to produce a bomb of each kind. Researchers are confident that the uranium as work in the laboratories progresses.
Science! I mean, playing with this table is almost more exciting than the information, which is rare. Yeah, this is where they stop working though. I can't get them to work past this. You gotta hold it. But, like, it's still going. Oh, it's working! Oh, wow. Didn't work for me before.
Yeah, but that's what I was
Its fate now rests on him. At Los Alamos,
Oh, you gotta hold it till it goes.
the Oak Ridge and Hanford plants have produced enough uranium and plutonium to produce a bomb of each kind.
Isotope.
Researchers are
A special version of an atom with a different number of neutrons.
One type of trigger mechanism is going to work.
238.
But the plutonium bomb has a more challenging trigger design. An explosion that bursts inward to compress the plutonium until it explodes.
Oh no, this is a pillbox. They were shooting out. Oh, they were shooting our troops from here. It was all
Personal accounts defending Fortress Europe. 2-minute oral history programs. You want to watch an oral history? What do you want to watch? You want to see building the Atlantic Wall, defending the Atlantic Wall, training, or waiting? I kind of want defending.
You can see the shooting though. Might as well.
There's a button below. Oh, this button, right? Okay. And we said.
I felt responsible as an officer of the German Wehrmacht, responsible to defend France against the invasion. And mind you, defend France. We felt ourselves at the side of France. I mean, the French civilians, the population we met every day and every week and every month.
Okay, so it looks like this is the German uniform, and this is the American uniform. Who wore it better? Look at these guns. Yeehaw! Yeehaw! Look at all these guns. Ooh, okay. I would wear this current day. This outfit right here. I would actually wear that. And this jacket right here, this jacket is everything.
Oh, that jacket.
I love that jacket. I love me a good worn leather jacket, one that's seen history. Plus, got all sorts of Rockington Panzer Busche. My friend who's German is gonna kill me. Granatwerfer. Maschinengewehr. Maschinenpistol.
Maschinenpistole.
Carabiner. Maschinengewehr.
That's the machine guns.
Tellermine. When deployed several Tellermine varieties, these highly destructive anti-tank mines were buried in the ground, set on stakes in tidal waters, or used in booby traps. Oh, so these are the mines. Oh my god, that thing looks like it really had some power to it. They had glass mines too. These are both mines, so if you stepped on them, they would explode. Look at that. Look at how big that is. Imagine how much power that thing has in it. Tellermine 35, and then this is the glass mine. Or is that the mine right there, that black thing?
All three, all of these.
All these are mines? Good.
Wood, that way the metal couldn't detect the metal detectors couldn't detect the wood.
Yeah.
The metal detectors, that was like something. I think that was like for blowing up trucks and stuff. This is more like for anti-personnel.
Oh, program will begin soon. Cool. You ready, Dad? The program's about to begin. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Spring 1944. It is time for Operation Overlord, the long-awaited invasion of Northwest Europe. An invasion the Germans know is coming, but they don't know where or when. The obvious place is where the channel is narrowest and the route to Berlin most direct, the Pas-de-Calais. The Germans know this too. It's where they've built their strongest defenses. But the Allies have no intention of invading in the Pas-de-Calais. Instead, they devise an elaborate plan to make the Germans think the invasion will come there or through Norway in the north. To maintain this deception, the Allies create phantom armies using fake tanks, planes, and radio broadcasts. The real site of the invasion? Normandy. This location has 3 critical advantages. It's within range of Allied warplanes in Britain. It has a port that can be put to Allied use. And its beaches are suitable for unloading operations. 6 infantry divisions and 3 airborne divisions will strike at Normandy, landing across a 45-mile front from Merville to St. Mary-Lise. The operation will actually start weeks before the landings. Allied bombers will begin destroying transportation routes, which will make it difficult for the Germans to reinforce Normandy. On D-Day, the invasion will begin shortly after midnight. The American 82nd and 101st Airborne Divisions will drop behind German lines on the western flank of the beaches.
He's really larger than life.
I mean, look at that face. He looks like he's ready for war. Oh, look at the smile on this guy. What a cute smile. By 1940, British intelligence was able to read much of the... Oh, yeah. I guess this must have been part of what they used to send out transmissions
that was
to fool them.
The Enigma, yeah, those used to be actually on U-boats.
The U-boats?
The U-boats, and that's where they captured the Enigma from. The U-boats.
Oh, that's cool. D-Day's smallest soldier. Wow, okay, so these were the paratroopers, quote unquote, that Americans deployed to fool the Germans into thinking that we were attacking them in their main ports. Look how tiny he is. Can you get a video of me standing next to him for reference? It's already recording, so you just have to like stop afterwards. Look at that. Look at that. Isn't that crazy?
It is approximately about 2.5 foot tall, maybe.
He's so tiny. How did the Germans fall for that? The big build-up. Look at this. So many supplies were needed because there were so many people fighting the war. Look at that. A ranger scales a 30-foot wall during a training exercise. I mean, he had to be built. You know, from being a normal, just man to being a super soldier with the training that they went through. Serious training. Anything interesting to note over here?
It was in their, they got in their rations like candy bars and cigarettes.
Look at the old Hershey bars.
Mm-hmm.
That's crazy. And what is this? A little blade?
For shaving, for your razor. 18 extra cigarette packs.
Virginia cigarettes. That little bitty box right there is freaking cigarettes. That's so tiny. What is that? Like four cigarettes?
But they didn't have filters back then. Those were filterless cigarettes.
Jesus.
This one had these in the back. They might have had filters. Yep, filtered up. The Virginia, the Benjamin had these in the back. They filtered. That's why they look bigger.
Yeah, those have the filters, but these definitely don't.
It has required months of planning and preparation. Now, all of the pieces are in place. Thousands of ships, aircraft, and troops from 12 allied nations. All that remains is the final order to go from the only man who can give it, American General Dwight D. Eisenhower, Supreme Commander of the Allied Expeditionary Force. Yes, it's June 4th, 1944. At the 4 a.m. briefing, Eisenhower and his staff listened closely as Group Captain J.M. Stagg, the command's weather advisor, delivered his report. It appears that the weather will be overcast and stormy. The news is discouraging for the next day, the planned day of the launch, June 5th. Eisenhower asks his subordinates for their view.
Do you see any reason for not going Tuesday?
British General Bernard Montgomery, commander of the ground forces, wants to go.
I think we should go.
Air Marshal Arthur Tedder, the Deputy Supreme Commander, favors postponement.
We should wait.
So does the ever-cautious Air Vice Marshal Trafford Lee Mallory, the Tactical Air Commander.
I postpone.
Admiral Bertram Ramsey, the Naval Commander-in-Chief, is willing to go, but worries that poor visibility and high seas might put the landing forces at risk.
I have some serious concerns about the weather.
Eisenhower knows that bad weather could cripple Allied air control. The risks seem too great. He asks if anyone disagrees. No one objects. Eisenhower gives the order to postpone D-Day for at least 1 day.
Let's put everything on hold and hope conditions improve.
As word of the delay goes out to the troops, Eisenhower weighs the gravity of the situation confronting him. Although the weather holds the key, there are other equally crucial factors to consider. One is the sheer momentum of the force waiting to be unleashed against Hitler's Atlantic Wall. He knows that any further postponement might have a devastating effect on morale. The next favorable tide in Normandy won't occur until June 19th, 2 weeks away. The Allies have gone to great lengths to conceal their plans from the Germans, who believe that the invasion will take place at Calais. The longer he waits, the greater the possibility that the enemy will uncover the true plan. Yet of all the burdens Eisenhower bears, perhaps the heaviest is the absence of any contingency plan. Once begun, Operation Overlord must succeed.
Inside of there?
Mm-hmm. Inside of this. It was like out more so you could actually sit in it.
Il più dolce incanto del cuore mi ridai la felicità.
Now they had all dark into them what to do in that.
Yeah, they said no more kids on our vehicles. Look at that. Jeez. Really messed someone up.
I'm fighting right there.
This is the entire fleet, they said. Attack Germany in Normandy. It's crazy. It's a lot of boats, a lot of jets, a lot of planes, a lot of boats. Reference, that's my dad standing next to the exhibit, and again, it is massive.
Everything around you, everything is not going right, and you're fighting to find out where you are when you landed, because you're lost. You've been dropped in the wrong place, and you're fighting to get the men together, to get them organized, to get to your objective. You're fighting to take your objective. You know, you're too busy to pray at that point.
I was sure we came there.
June 6, 1944. D-Day begins. The Allied goals: storm the Normandy beaches, penetrate Hitler's Atlantic Wall, and secure inland objectives. Throughout the night, Allied planes pound the German gun defenses. But many bombs are off target. 20,000 paratroopers from the British 6th and the American 82nd and 101st Airborne Divisions drop behind German lines. Plan: Americans will capture the village of St. Mary-Glees, seize the exits from Utah Beach, and protect the invasion's western flank by securing the bridges over the Duluth River. However, the drop is more scattered than planned, leaving units isolated and uncoordinated. Nevertheless, by the end of June 6th, the American Airborne has control of St. Mary-Glees and the Utah exits.
They got the job done.
They have not taken the Duluth bridges.
May have had a blip, but they got it done.
The British Airborne was more successful. It shielded the invasion's eastern flank from German counterattack. Dawn, the naval barrage begins. It's supposed to destroy the German gun emplacements, but it is not effective. 06:30 hours, Utah Beach. The American 4th Infantry Division is to take the beach and link up with the American Airborne. Fortunately, strong winds and waves push the landing boats off course into an area less defended. The 4th Division floods Utah with 20,000 troops and attains nearly all of its objectives by nightfall.
Awesome.
06:30 hours, Omaha Beach. The 106th and the 16th Infantry Regiment of the 1st Division hit the beach. The plan? The Americans are to take the beach and 4 villages. But here at Omaha Beach and at Point of Hope, German defenses are strongest. topography presents major problems. Omaha's narrow, open beach faces a 100-foot bluff, where the Germans have the high ground. The Allies believe that there are heavy German guns on top of Point de Hoc. The 2nd Ranger Battalion scales the cliffs, but the guns aren't there. The Rangers locate them inland and destroy them. Meanwhile, at Omaha, plans descend into chaos. Rough seas swamp some boats and push others far off course. Heavy smoke hampers visibility. The Germans unleash monstrous firepower. The beach becomes jammed with equipment, vehicles, and over 2,000 dead, dying, and wounded soldiers. By day's end, a small number of units make it to high ground, but many of the objectives are not reached. 07, 25 hours. The British 3rd Division lands at Sword Beach. Its main objective, take Caen. The British airborne helps to keep German fire at bay, and the Battle for Sword is a success. But by the end of D-Day, the British are still over 3 miles from Caen. 07, 35 hours. Gold Beach. The British 50th Infantry Division lands. Its goal is to take the town of Bayeux and cross Highway N13. Boundaries.
$65 million lives. More civilians and soldiers killed. More cities destroyed than in every other war in history.
Called Sergeant Hamilton's class. So we were in this open field, and I hear whistling behind the hedgerow. And it's like
That's a gun. That's a gun. Here's the good guys, the Allies. And there's the Axis.
16 Army F-25 bombers. 500 miles to bomb Japan. Then pray that enough fuel remains to reach China. Doolittle's raid inflicts minimal damage, but scores a direct hit on Japan's sense of invincibility. Back home, the raid boosts America's sagging morale. 3 weeks later,
Mi ridai la vita e l'amor, il più dolce incanto del...
the Americans take the bait. Yamamoto reasons that unless he annihilates the American fleet quickly, the United States will ultimately defeat Japan.
Mi ridai la gioia d'amare. Sei tu come un profumo sottil, come una carezza d'aprile.
Later, the USS Special City.
The Japanese advance and protect their allies. Guadalcanal. No one expects this fight to last very much. There are attacks. On the other side, the
Yeah, you want to run through? Just so we have... This picture makes me so sad. That's so sad. Like to see a baby crying in the middle of war rubbish. That's a hard-hitting image.
And Guadalcanal, the time comes to revisit the Asia-Pacific strategy. The plan for victory originally called for the Japanese off balance, never sure where the Allies will strike next, and already finding themselves in the wrong place at the wrong time.
China had worked to shoot down scores of Japanese planes.
You're good, Dan.
While Merrill's marauders penetrated deep behind enemy lines and were Then the Japanese set their sights on greater complexes, and the fighting escalates into a full-scale war, starting in Peking and spreading to Shanghai. Taught from childhood that the Chinese are racially inferior, Japanese troops descend on the city, murdering
I do not know what this means. It is in German, and underneath it is a mirror. Or is it not a mirror? Oh, it's a hole to the other wall. What does that mean? Oh, I wish I spoke German. Also, what is this? What the hell is this? What is this?
The German advance, and a break in the weather is predicted soon. Get those planes in the air now. All clear for takeoff.
Turn to the side. Oh no, it went away. Let's get rat.
Boogie woogie bugle boy of Company B. They made him blow a bugle for his Uncle Sam. It really brought him down.
I got
because he
platypus.
couldn't jam. The captain seemed to understand. Because the next day the cap went out and drafted a band. And now the company jumps when he plays reveille.